So, if you're a business leader today, you've got this massive question looming over you. How do you pick the right sustainability framework? The one that's actually going to work for you. And maybe even more important, how do you make sure you have the right people on your team to actually pull it off? It's a huge decision, and let's be honest, the whole landscape can feel, well, pretty confusing. And it's not just about picking a path. It feels a lot more like trying to find your way through a giant, complicated maze. The world of sustainability reporting is just crowded. It's complex, and for a lot of us, it's just plain overwhelming. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. It's an alphabet soup of acronyms. GRI, TCFD, ISSB. Who can keep track? So if you're looking at this list and your head is spinning a little, trust me, you are not alone. The real trick is figuring out which ones matter to you and how in the world they all fit together. But for anyone doing business in Malaysia, that means just got a very clear, very mandatory path right through the middle of it. The time for just thinking about sustainability is over. Now it's all about regulatory compliance. Here it is. This is the new rulebook. It's called the National Sustainability Reporting Framework, or NSRF. And here's the key takeaway. Malaysia is getting everyone on the same page. They're basing their rules on the new global standard from the ISSB. Why? So that investors can get reliable info and compare apples to apples. And here's the urgent part. This isn't some 10-year plan. This is happening now. Starting January 1st, 2025, the biggest companies have to comply. Then it rolls out to the rest of the main market in 2026, and then to ACE market and even large private companies by 2027. The clock is officially ticking. Okay, so we have a mandate. We have a deadline. But this next part, this is where so many companies get tripped up. Honestly, if you misunderstand this, you're going to struggle. There is a huge difference between knowing the big picture of what you need to report and getting into the technical details of how you actually get that data. To make this super clear, let's use an analogy. Think about going to your family doctor, your GP. They check your overall health, right? They give you a general strategy for wellness. But if you need a really specific diet plan, they send you to a specialist, a nutritionist, who gets into the nitty-gritty details. Well, this maps perfectly onto our topic. The NSRF framework, that's our GP. It tells you what to report on, your strategy, your governance, your risks. But to get the actual hard numbers, like your carbon footprint, you need a nutritionist. That's where a technical standard like ISO 14064 comes in. It tells you exactly how to do the calculations. So here's the bottom line. The NSRF might be the law, but your ability to follow that law depends entirely on mastering those technical details. And that brings us to what is, without a doubt, the global gold standard for carbon accounting. And that standard is ISO 14064. Think of this as the official instruction manual for counting carbon. It's recognized everywhere. And it's not just a few friendly guidelines. It's a really rigorous, detailed standard that makes sure your data is accurate, consistent, and can be checked by an auditor. And just to show you how precise this gets, the standard makes a clear difference between verification, which is like an audit of your past emissions, and validation, which is about checking if your future plans and goals are even reasonable. This level of detail tells you one thing. This is a highly specialized technical skill. You can't just wing it. So that brings us to the big question, right? With this crazy demand for technical specialists, how you or your team become one of those people that companies are desperately searching for. How do you become the nutritionist in our little story? Well, this is where the Malaysia Project Management Community, or MPC, steps in. These guys have been around for 2 decades. They have a solid reputation for upskilling professionals and, crucially, connecting them with real-world projects. They're a trusted partner for building this kind of critical expertise. And they've laid out this super clear career path. It all starts with the foundation, a 3-day workshop on ISO 14064. That's your ticket in. From there, you build up your credibility step by step. You become a practitioner, you get hands-on project experience, and you can eventually become a highly sought-after lead verifier. It's a real roadmap from A to Z. And why is this so important? Because this expertise is valuable. We're talking about contract roles for sustainability managers, with these skills potentially earning up to 20,000 ringgit a month. This isn't just about compliance. This is a massive career opportunity. But here's the thing. Theory alone isn't going to land you those jobs. What makes this whole pathway so powerful is that it's all about real-world application. The workshop is just the start. The whole program is built to give you true hands-on experience so you can actually do the work.
And we are talking about world-class practical experience. You don't get your certificate of practice by doing some hypothetical case study. No, you do it at the University of Technology Sarawak, which is basically a giant living sustainability lab. You're working with real-time data from smart buildings and energy systems. This makes your certification so much more than a piece of paper. It's a real credential that proves you know your stuff.
Okay, so the path is clear, the need is urgent, the skills are specific, and the opportunity is absolutely huge. The only question left is, what's the best way to get started? So, are you ready to finally navigate that maze? To move past all the confusing acronyms and build a seriously valuable, in-demand career? If you want to be the expert that companies are going to rely on to meet this new mandate, well, it's time to take that first step. And that first step couldn't be easier. Just join a free 30-minute live preview session. It's a chance to get all of your questions answered directly from the source, with absolutely no commitment required. It's the simplest way to start your journey from being lost in the maze to completely mastering it.